Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Dior Homme Parfum. And when I pull out this box that it's being shipped away in, it's not a diss, it's not an insult. I've sold it, and that's true. Word is it's been discontinued. I haven't verified that for sure. But when the going's good and you've got a bottle, I moved it. That's not to say I didn't think it was a beautiful fragrance. And it was a beautiful fragrance, so part of me is kind of torn. But if I'm, making double what I paid for it, with all the eBay price hikes, you can go on there and see, I can buy two great fragrances for what I just got it for. Anyways, moving into what it is, it has iris, leather, sandalwood, I think, is that ambrette, oud, rose, woods, and orange. It's very beautiful. It's very elegant. I think it's almost a little too formal for me, and that's why it was a little easier to let go than other fragrances. The iris I think iris is more polarizing than leather, because leather can go a lot of ways. There's kind of the sweeter leather that you kind of get in Tuscan leather, and then there's, very rough and not as approachable leather. This is a little bit of both. It has this kind of darker, oily note to the leather, which I like. I like most leathers. It's not a polarizing note to me at all. What I would say is a polarizing note is the iris, and that's kind of that lipsticky, cosmetic smell. And I wore this. I wore the Dior Homme Parfum a couple times, and what I got was from people was it's very good, but it kind of smells like my grandma's makeup bag. I'm sorry. And that's kind of why it was a little easier to let go, because it's like, I recognize it's really good. The woods, how it kind of dried down, the woods almost had this dark cacao note to it. It was like very dark. I'm talking like 95% dark chocolate. I wouldn't even call it sweet at all, just unsweetened cacao. And it was nice, and that's what I got from the woods. And then the sandalwood, so you've got different intensities of the wood, the lighter woods, and then you've got the heavier woods. So it was a really interesting composition and range of it. The leather, of course, drove it masculine. You had the rose. Rather than the rose, and people say the rose, I'm sorry, my eye's a little itchy. People say the rose is more prominent than the orange. I think it was reversed. I got a lot more orange than the rose, and it had this kind of just nice little citrus zing that would, just kind of waft in every now and then. And I thought that was really good. And not a lot of people talk about that, but the little kind of citrus zing, and it's not enough to be like an aggravating freshie or anything like that, but it just, I think it deepens the complexity of it. Because this is not airy at all. This is thick, strong performance, strong longevity. This will last. You only need 2 or 3 sprays. Very good performer. It's not like beast mode, super projection, but the concentration is so strong that you'll leave sillage trails. You can walk in a room, you can come back, the whole place reeks of you. Reek isn't a very good word. It's that makes it sound bad. It just, you can tell you've been there. I liked it a lot, and it's a beautiful bottle. I would show you. It's in the box. Unfortunately, it's moving today, but there was a lot of factors that went into me getting rid of it. I think the price hike was kind of the perfect storm of it's just an opportunity, and there's a couple other bottles I'm eyeing, and this is so formal for when I'd be, I just don't go to that many formal occasions where I would reach for something like this, because this is too formal. It's too nice to just go out to a bar or clubbing. I mean, you could theoretically wear anything, but I guess it's just congruency. So I will kind of miss it, but I'm about to pull the trigger on a bottle that I'm just very excited for. So, the whole fun of fragrances is, trading them and swapping them and trying new things. And that's what it's all about. It's kind of hard to let go of your collection, but after a while, if it's just sitting there and you're not using it, it's probably best to just move it along, because it's just money sitting on your shelf. This was just, money sitting on my shelf that I would barely use. So might as well move it. And it's going to a good home, I'm sure. That's the only thing from I've tried a couple of Dior Homme, but that's the best one by far. And I'm not just saying that to toot my own horn. That's my only bottle. So I'm not doing myself any favors jacking the price. But I would say get your nose on it if you can. You're going to be paying a pretty penny for it now. It's not cheap. You're going to have to fork it out. And it's becoming increasingly hard to find on eBay. So you might not get the chance to ever smell it. And that's okay. It's not a mind-blowing, amazing fragrance. It's just, it's something, if you have the opportunity to smell it, opportunity to get a little decant of it, it's worth a try. But don't pay out the wazoo for it, because there's certainly things that are equal to or better than it. But it's just, I would call it niche quality from a designer house. It's very good. And I know that doesn't seem sincere, since it is, moving. But if I was more of a collector than I am, I wouldn't have moved it just for the value of having, a little piece of history. But that's not what I'm here to do. So, anyways, until next time, folks. Bye.